Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Prabhu dhāya karo more Śrī Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Toma bina ke dayalu jagat samsare Toma bina ke Toma bina ke dayalu jagat samsare Toma bina ke Patita pavana hitun Tababatara patita pavana Patita pavana hitun Tababatara patita pavana Musamo patita Prabhu napaibeara Musamo patita Musamo patita Prabhu napaibeara Musamo Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Soke Ha Prabhu Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Soke Ha Prabhu Nityananda Kripa bolo kana kara Ami boro dukhe Kripa bolo Kripa bolo kana kara Ami boro dukhe Kripa bolo dhāya karo sitapati advaita gosam dhāya karo dhāya karo sitapati advaita gosam dhāya karo sita taba kripam bole pai Caitanya taba kripam Taba kripa bole pa Caitanya āsvāda sanatana rūpa-raguna āsvāda sanatana rūpa-raguna āsvāda Bhata yuga jiva Prabhu lokanata Bhata yuga Bhata yuga jiva Prabhu lokanata Bhata yuga Jaya Kṛṣṇa Jaya Prabhu Srinivasa Daya Kṛṣṇa Jaya Kṛṣṇa Jaya Prabhu Srinivasa Daya Kṛṣṇa Jaya Ramachandra Sangha Maga Narottamo Dasa Ramachandra Sangha Ramachandra Sangha Maga Narottamo Dasa Jaya Gaurani Chai Jaya Gaurani Chai Gaurani Chai Jaya 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 Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitago Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo. Nitaigo Haribo, 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 Nitago Haribo. Dhāya Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajaka-acārya Stotra Sarasa Śrīmad. His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Dhāya Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajaka-acārya Stotra Sarasa Śrīmad. His divine grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. His confounder Acharya Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Namacharya Śrīla Vidas Thakur ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गो भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर धाम की द्वारका धाम की Yaganapidamaki, Gangamaya Manamayaki, Tassadevi Bhakti Devaki, Sishnitai Gurachandaki, Sri Kṛṣṇa Balaramaki, Sishada Shamasundaki, Lalita Abhishaka Astasaka Vrindaki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrindaki, Nitai Gopi Manandi. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the Assembly devotees. All glory to the lotus feet of Sri Guru Gauranga. Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikāya Kṛṣṇaya Kṛṣṇa Bhaktaya Tabhaktaya Namo Namaha. Ajnanatimandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chakshunitayena Tasmas Sri Gurave Namaha. Vandeyam Sri Guru Sita Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaishnavasya Sri Rupam Sadhyatan Sahagana Argunatan Vitantan Sajivan Sadvaitan Savadutan Parijana Satan Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Devan Sri Radha-Kṛṣṇa Parasagana Lalita Sri Visakhavitamsya He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanta Namostate Tata Kanchana Gaurange Radha Bindabaneswari Visabhanu Sutadevi Panamami Haripriya Kṛṣṇa Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kansa Chandramadana Devaki Paramananda Kṛṣṇa Vande Jagadguru Namo Vishnu Padaya Kṛṣṇa Pishtaya Bhutale Śrīmatī Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivise Sasunavadi Kshetra Visatarine Vanchaka Paturubhyascha Kripasyunibhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Maha Madanyaya Kṛṣṇa Pima Padayate Kṛṣṇaya Kṛṣṇa Caitanya Namine Gauratishe Namah Śrī Caitanya Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrī Vāsadi Guru Bhakta Hare Kṛṣṇa 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ananda Lila Maya Vigraja Nabeda Vicha Visundaraya Tasma Maha Premarasa Padaya Caitanya Chandya Namo Namaste. Hare Kṛṣṇa. So I thank everyone for being here this morning for the Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita class. Every Monday we have reading from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. So Caitanya Charitamrita is said to be the postgraduate study of the theology of Krishna consciousness. It's the postgraduate study. We have the undergraduate, graduate, and postgraduate. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Why Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Kṛṣṇa, and Srimad Bhagavatam was about Lord Kṛṣṇa, and Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita is the birth, the ecstasy of those who have realized Krishna consciousness, which is exemplified by Krishna himself in the form of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So we are in the chapter 4 of the Adi Lila. It's a very, very important chapter. This chapter 4, the Adi Lila, Caitanya. So there are some few chapters in the Caitanya Charitamrita, which actually explains the divinity of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, of what's the most essential of Krishna consciousness, which is about Krishna Prem. The Krishna Prem, the relishment of Krishna Prem. So this chapter 4 of the Adi Lila, then we have chapter 8 of the Madhya Lila, and there's some few chapters in the Antya Lila. So the Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Because when he began to write Caitanya Charitamrita, he was very, very old. He was very, very elderly. As he explained himself, as he was writing, his hand was also shaking. So he didn't know how much longer he's going to, he will, survive, live. But the Vaishnava, they specifically requested him that he should write about the later pastimes of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So he was writing based on the diaries of Swarup Damodara, and then also whatever was composed also by Raghunath Das Goswami was writing. But at the beginning of his writing, he put some chapters forward in terms of the understanding of what is love of Kṛṣṇa, what is the purpose of Caitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, the main reason for the appearance of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So he explained this in this chapter 4 of the Adi Lila. So I'll read this first. We're in text number 45. I'll read the text first, and then some explanation can be done. So we can chant together. Vicāra kariye yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa āśraya tabe dhāya. Vicāra kariye yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa āśraya tabe dhāya. Vicāra kariye yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa āśraya tabe dhāya. Rādhikā-svarūpa dhāya. Vicāra kariye yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa tabe dhāya. Vicāra yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa tabe dhāya. Vicāra kariye yadi āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa tabe dhāya. Dhāya kariye āsvāda-upāya rādhikā-svarūpa. Okay, Mataji's. Rādhikā-svarūpa vicāra, consideration, kariye, I do, yadi, if, āśraya, to taste, upāya, way, rādhikā-svarūpa, the nature of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, ha-ite, to become tabe, then mana, mind, dhāya, chases. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrī Prabhupada ki. If I deliberate on a way to taste it, I find that I anchor for the position of rādhikā. Purport. Kṛṣṇa's attractiveness is wonderful and unlimited. No one can know the end of it. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī alone can relish such extensiveness from our position in the āśraya category. The mirror of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's transcendental love is perfectly clear, yet it appears clearer and clearest in the transcendental method of understanding Kṛṣṇa. In the mirror of Radharani's heart, the transcendental features of Kṛṣṇa appear increasingly new and fresh. In other words, the attraction of Kṛṣṇa increases in proportion to the understanding of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Each tries to supersede the other. Neither wants to be defeated in increasing the intensity of love. Desiring to understand Radharani's attitude of increasing love, Lord Kṛṣṇa appeared as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So very, very important. As mentioned in the beginning of this chapter, that the law has two causes. There are two causes of Caitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. The appearance of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa as Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. There is the external reason, external source, and then there is the internal reason. The external and the internal. So the external reason has been said to be the propagation of the Sankirtan movement, because the Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma. Every Yuga, there's always a Dharma. So for Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is Nam Sankirtan. That's the process of worship of God, self-realization is Nam Sankirtan. But this Yuga Dharma is normally executed by the various avatars. So there's always the Yuga avatar that comes and establishes the Yuga Dharma. But this particular Yuga, Kali Yuga, it coincided with the appearance of Lord Kṛṣṇa, because Lord Kṛṣṇa comes once in a day of Brahma. He makes his appearance once in a day of Brahma. So, and I also mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes once in a day of Brahma. But this particular Yuga, because the Lord, since the Yuga Dhamma is there, and there has to be the spreading of Sankirtan Jaga, which is the Dhamma of the Yuga. So because the Lord Kṛṣṇa is appearing, so he actually appears with the particular incarnation that's supposed to come. So it mentioned that when Lord Kṛṣṇa comes, that all the avatars, all the incarnations, expansion, they all appear within his body, within Krishna's body. That Lord Kṛṣṇa himself, he does not directly take part. He doesn't have a contact with the demons. He doesn't touch the demons, it's only with his devotees. But It's said because all the incarnations, they are within the body of Kṛṣṇa. So when there is a need to kill a particular demon, then the particular expansion avatar does the killing. So for example, Lord Vishnu, he is the maintenance of the universe, he is the maintainer. So because Lord Vishnu is within the body of Kṛṣṇa, so when there is a killing, it's done by Vishnu. Krishna himself does not come in contact with his devotee. And especially specifically mentioned that Vrindavan Parityaga Padam Mekananga Chati, that Krishna is always in Vrindavan with his loving devotees. So, so Lord Krishna has 3 desires, which he has. 3 desires. The one desire is to, because it's explain the love of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, who loved the Kṛṣṇa most, is Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. She loved Kṛṣṇa the most. Just like the famous verse in the Bhagavatam, that Amayara Ditununa Govinda Hari Isvara, that who has, because during the beginning of the Ras Lila, when all the gopis, when they all gather in the forest with Kṛṣṇa, they all gather in the forest with Kṛṣṇa, and then so Kṛṣṇa was engaging in loving dealings with all the gopis. So many gopis, millions and millions of them, that were there with Lord Kṛṣṇa in the forest. So all of a sudden, Kṛṣṇa disappeared. Kṛṣṇa disappeared within the assembly of the gopis, and he specifically disappeared with Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So when Kṛṣṇa disappeared with Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, so all the gopis, they all begin to search for Kṛṣṇa. They begin to search for him. And then, as they were searching, they found a specific, on the path, they find some markings on the way, some footprint on the way. And then the gopi, they could see that actually Kṛṣṇa is with this particular gopi. So, and then they begin to glorify this gopi, that, oh, this gopi must have served Kṛṣṇa the most. That's why Kṛṣṇa have taken her to be alone with her. So Anayara Ditununa Govinda Arijishwara, Chana Govinda, dhāya Govinda. So Govinda has taken this particular gopi. Why? Because she has served Kṛṣṇa the most. Aradita. That's how the word Radhika actually comes from this Aradhana, which means the one who worships Kṛṣṇa the most. The one who loves Kṛṣṇa the most is Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Now, in the Bhagavatam, you will not find the word Radharani in the Bhagavatam. So it's kind of amazing how Sukadeva Goswami, he narrated Srimad Bhagavatam, the entire 18,000 slokas. And then within the 5 chapters of the Bhagavatam in the 10th canto, Rasa Panchadhyaya, he specifically talks about the ras which the gopis of Vrindavan had with Kṛṣṇa in the forest. Specifically talks about the ras. But in this narration, he did not directly mention Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. He just saw the gopis, but he did not say about Radharani. Now, the reason of course is because the word Radhikā-Svarūpa is the most confidential, and there is a reason for that why Sukadeva Goswami did not directly mention Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī in the Bhagavatam. And because of this, that's why many other Vaishnavas, they said that, oh, the word Radharani is an invention of the Gaudiyas. That the Gaudiya, they invented this word Radharani. Yeah. And that's why in Jaipur, when many Brahmanas, they did not accept Radha Govindaji. They say there's no such a person as Radharani. You know, that this is something that the Gaudiya Vaishnava had invented, this name. So that's why Vishnu Chakravarti, he had to send Baladi Vishnu to go and defeat all these Brahmanas. That yes, is indeed Radharani is in all the scriptures, all the Puranas, they all there. And since in the Bhagavatam, the word Radharani was spoken indirectly. So Anayara Diktanona, so the Gopi they indicate, but is spoken of indirectly, not directly. Because Sukate Goswami, he had 7 days to narrate Bhagavatam to Parikshima, right? 7 days he had. So if he had to mention the word Radharani, if he had to say Radharani, he will go into samadhi. He will go into samadhi that it will take a while to revive him. Because Sukade Goswami is so because Sri Asuka is Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's own pet. Sukha, the parrot of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, that is Sukade Goswami. So if he had to mention Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, that it will be impossible for him to complete Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So therefore, it's only indirectly mentioned in this verse in the chapter 30 of the 10th canto Bhagavatam. So who has the most love for Kṛṣṇa is Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. She has the most love for Kṛṣṇa. And there's nothing comparable that can be compared to this love of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So Kṛṣṇa himself, he developed a greed. He wants to understand this love, this love for Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Because the relishment of Kṛṣṇa Prem is such that one have undescribable bliss, happiness in the relishment of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So when Kṛṣṇa, when he's reciprocating with his devotees, he's getting so much pleasure out of it that the bliss of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī that she gets from her loving relationship with Kṛṣṇa, she gets millions of times much more happiness than Kṛṣṇa himself. So Kṛṣṇa wants to become greedy. He wants to understand what is this Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's love that she has for him. So this is one of the reasons. And the second reason is that what is the attraction of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī towards him? This sweetness of Sri Kṛṣṇa, the intense beauty that Kṛṣṇa has, the intensity of this beauty that he has, the sweetness. So that is the second desire. The first desire is to know the nature of Radharani's love, and then the second desire is to know his own sweetness, his beauty, which Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī relish. So in this verse we are reading, and up to the next 20 verses, Kṛṣṇa Kaviraj Goswami is explaining this nature of the sweetness, the beauty of Lord Kṛṣṇa, by which Kṛṣṇa himself he has a greed to understand. He has a greed to understand. So, it's Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Sri Kṛṣṇa. He has greed. We have, just like this material world, everyone has greed. But even a person in the material world, we know that to be greedy, it's not good. To be greedy for material desire, for sense gratification, it's usually not good. But the Supreme, the greed is originally within him. So, of course, in the material world, our greediness is a perverted reflection of the original greed. So the Lord developed, he has a greed to understand the love devotee has for him, and what is the attraction to him, and what is the happiness that is there. So this whole chapter 4 is explaining this. So when Kavya Goswami is explaining Krishna's mode here, he whereby vicāra, kariye, yadi, āsvāda-upāya, rādhikā-svarūpa, ha-ite, tabe, dhāya. That if I deliberate on a way to test it, I find that an anchor for the position of rādhika. So Kṛṣṇa wants to relish this sweetness of himself. He wants to relish the beauty of himself. He wants to relish it. He wants to relish it, but because Kṛṣṇa is in position of āśraya. No, position of vicāra. Vicāra means the object. So being in the position of vicāra, it's impossible to do so unless you come to the position of āśraya, not vicāra. So Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, she's the epitome of āśraya. So it said that because Kṛṣṇa's sweetness is always ever increasing, his beauty is always ever increasing. So similarly also the attraction of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī to Kṛṣṇa's beauty is also ever increasing. It's also ever increasing. So which means there is a competition between Kṛṣṇa's sweetness and also Rādhārāṇī's own attraction to Kṛṣṇa's sweetness. There's always competition. It's because there's no limit to it, there's no end to it. So in order to really understand this sweetness, Kṛṣṇa says the only way for me to understand this sweetness is to take Svarūpa Rādhārāṇī, to take the birth, to take the form of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. That's the only way I could, be able to relish this sweetness. And that's why the Lord come as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. The Lord come as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu in order to understand this sweetness. So there was one time when Lord Kṛṣṇa was in Dwarka. He was in Dwarka, and then within the world, he see his own reflection within the world. When he sees his own reflection within the world, he begins to wonder that, oh, what is this? What am I seeing? What am I seeing? Such an abundance of beauty. He's looking at himself, and he's wondering, what am I seeing? Actually, Purport quoted in the next verse that say, "Apari kalita putra kast kari sprati mama gariyan esha maduya para ayam ahanapi hanta prekshayam labacheta sarababan upatun kamaye radhikā-svarūpa." So it's mentioned here when the Lord saw himself within the reflection of the world, because in Dwarka the palace are full of the gems, the gems of the world. They are like mirror that one can see. One can see oneself. So see himself in the reflection, Kṛṣṇa became amazed. He said, "Oh, who manifests an abundance of sweetness greater than mine? Who is this? Manifest is greater than mine, which has never been experienced before, and which causes wonder to all." I mean, Kṛṣṇa is looking at himself, and he said, "Who is this? What kind of an abundance of sweetness, beauty? This has never been manifest before. Alas, I myself, my mind bewildered upon seeing this beauty, and impetuously desire to enjoy it like Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, because only Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī can relish, can enjoy this beauty." Hmm? So Krishna desired to see his own beauty. And understanding the beauty of Krishna is just, it just causes amazement. And also it causes wonder. Hmm? In the in the Gopi Gita, when they were singing the song of separation from Krishna, so they were saying, Atatiya Bhavan Anika Nanam Tutijugayati Tvanapasyatam Kutila Kuntalam Simukantate Yadaudikshtatam Partner Krishna. So the Gopi, they are saying, when he goes off to the forest during the day, a tiny fraction of a second becomes like a millennium for us, because we cannot see you. Because seeing Krishna is the festival for the eyes. Seeing Krishna is the festival for the eyes. So they are saying, we cannot see you, when you go to the forest. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely, with its adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish Creator. So here, the Gopis, they were criticizing Brahmaji, the Creator, that what a foolish Creator. It's so foolish, because he has created this eye. When Krishna manifests himself before us, which is a festival for the eyes, we want to see Krishna always. But sometimes seeing Krishna, there is always some impediment. Seeing Krishna, if there's an impediment is there, it's a truth. Truth means the fragment of a second. The fragment, because when you blink your eye, that is the, it takes how much longer does it take to blink your eye? But the Gopis, even though it takes fragment of a second, which the eye blinks, to them, they find this intolerable. To them, this is like, compared to yoga, like a yoga. A yoga means can be millions and millions of years, thousands of years. So this is they compare this to a separation that goes off over some million years. This to prevent us from seeing Krishna, this blinking of the eye. So therefore they say that what kind of creator is this that make this creation of the eye that enable us to see Krishna constantly. So therefore, those persons, they are actually fortunate who have been able to cut off their eyelids. So by cutting off your eyelid, then you can constantly see Krishna. This is what the Gopis are saying. So, but we Gopis, we are unable to do that. We're unable to do this by removing our eyelids. So we can just imagine that the Gopis say, cut off your eyelid so that you can see Krishna constantly. So, but who can do that? Who can do that? So, and then in the Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, Bhagavatam, chapter 32, text 22nd. So, Lord Krishna is telling the Gopis. He said, Nayan Shivanga Yutanta Rati Prasada, Sayositam Nalina Ganda Rutan Kutranga, Pasat Save Sho, Bujadanda Grita Kanta, Lavdasi Soya Udaja Braja Sundarinam. Oh, my dear Gopis, the favor I show you during the rasa dance is not bestowed upon even the goddess of fortune or other heavenly ladies Only you, the Braja Sundaris, receive such mercy. So here Kṛṣṇa, he acknowledged the paramount love of the devotees, which is not comparable in this material world. And this is led by Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, which he himself cannot even understand. So therefore, unless Kṛṣṇa take the form of Radharani, then that's the only possibility. So therefore, the Lord becomes Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. And that's why Caitanya Mahāprabhu, he appeared for 48 years when he was on the planet. For the first 24 years, he was in the Kṛṣṇa ashram in Navadvip for the first 24 years. And then for the next 12 years, whereby after taking some years, he was in Puri, and then he was traveling sometimes, but mainly spreading the Nam and all that, and associating with his devotees. But the last 12 years, the Lord was in seclusion, in Gambhir, whereby it's simply relishing love of Radha. Actually, he became Radharani, so therefore he is relishing love of himself. He became Radharani. Was that Radhabhava, Radhabhav taking the mood, the bath of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, Radhabhava so written. So he took the form of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So in the invocation of text number 5 of the beginning of the CC, so Kaviraj Goswami said, Śrī Radhāya Pranaya Mahima Kṛṣṇa Madhya Swadyo Yanadruta Madhrima Kṛṣṇa Madhya Sokantasya Mad Anubhavata Kṛṣṇa Veti Loba Tat Bhavadiya Samajani Sachigamba Sindhu Arindo. So Kṛṣṇa desired to know the greatness of Radha's love, number one. Number two, the qualities in him that she alone relishes. And number three, the happiness she feels in experiencing his sweetness. To fulfill these desires, he appeared as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So this is the internal reason of Caitanya Mahāprabhu's appearance here. So for 12 years, the Lord was in seclusion in Puri for 12 years, whereby only two persons were with him, Swarup Damodara and Ramananda Roy. They were the only two persons who were actually nourishing this mood of Caitanya Mahāprabhu. When Caitanya Mahāprabhu cried out, "Hey Kṛṣṇa, hey Kṛṣṇa," and then Swarup Damodara will sing various songs from Gita Govinda of Jadi Goswami, Vidyadas, Vidyapati, Chandidas, who have written very, very love of Kṛṣṇa that is there. So he will sing, and then Ramananda Roy will be quoting various verses, various esoteric verses in support of this sentiments of Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So these two persons, Swarup Damodara and Ramananda Roy, they are actually the incarnation of Lalita and Vishaka. So here we have on the altar here, Lalita and Vishaka, who are the dearmost Saki of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So many books which are there, like especially Govinda de Lamrita, Gita Govinda, they all explain this, the great role that these two personalities play, Lalita and Vishaka. And how they make possible the union of Radha and Kṛṣṇa, how they make it possible, the union of Radha and Kṛṣṇa. And sometimes it may be done in a kind of a crooked way, because as they say that the way of love of God is not straight, it's crooked way. The way of love of God is not straight, it's crooked. Like like Lord Ramachandra is very, very straight. It's what is called Purushottam, what is that? It's very, very straight. Follow rules and regulation. Does not break any principles. Very, very straight. So it's straight, but Kṛṣṇa is not. He's Shyamasundar, crooked, Tribhanga form, not straight. So the ways of love of God is not straight. Difficult to understand. Difficult to understand the way of love. Kṛṣṇa prayed that is there. So as explaining further, that to really understand this, there's no simple answer to it, because there are many devotees who have love for the Lord, especially the inhabitants of Vrindavan. But not everyone is able to have the same understanding, the same thing. And Kṛṣṇa will reciprocate based on the intensity of love of each particular devotees, because it's unlimited. So the way a particular devotee has love and express it towards the Lord, that's the same way there's a particular reciprocation. But with the gopis, and especially Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, there is none. It's impossible. The reflection of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's love is just impossible to describe, impossible to understand. So therefore, the Lord comes as Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So it's mentioned in the Ujjvala Nilamani, which is written by Rupa Goswami. He said that Iladini Tuam Prana Kanta Parama Prema Rupini Tuam Aśrityava Bhavati Sri Kṛṣṇa Rasa Muktiman. Saying that Iladini Shakti, which is Radha, say Iladini Shakti is Kṛṣṇa's principal pleasure potency, because when Kṛṣṇa wants to enjoy himself, Iladini Shakti is his own creation. So Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is creation of Kṛṣṇa himself. When he wants to enjoy himself, he becomes Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Now it's mentioned here that Iladini Shakti, Sri Radha, taking shelter of you alone, Sri Kṛṣṇa becomes the embodiment of Ras. Kṛṣṇa is able to enjoy himself to the topmost limit. Enjoy himself to the topmost limit only because of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So the scriptures, the Rasa Granthas, they will describe different man, sulkiness that Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī feel towards Kṛṣṇa. That Radharani should become angry at Kṛṣṇa, because sometimes he described that sometimes Kṛṣṇa will go with another gopis, like especially the opposite camp, Chandravali. Kṛṣṇa will go to associate, and during that time, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, she becomes very angry. That, why is Kṛṣṇa going there? Why is Kṛṣṇa going to the other camp to go and associate with other, to arrive at gopis? Why? Because Radharani, it's not that she's jealous of Chandravali or that, it's not that, but she knows that she's the only one that can actually fulfill Krishna's enjoyment. No one can fulfill it, because she knows Krishna's desire. Nobody else knows to that extent. So therefore, Radharani, she becomes angry, because she knows that, why are you going there? You get the most. I'm the only one who can really give you satisfaction. I'm the only one who can give you this satisfaction. So therefore, you have this thing that goes on. Now, it doesn't mean, because in order to create flavor in praying, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī herself, because all the gopis of Vrindavan, they are our own creation. They are expansion of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, all the various gopis. It's called a kahavyuya. They come from our body. So she creates, and then in this creation, then different varieties of love are created. Whereby the opposite camp is there, and when there is this opposite camp, then the feeling of jealousy is there. But the whole point is to enhance the love, to enhance the ecstasy of Lord Sri Krishna. So, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is the embodiment of Ladini Shakti. And then, so Krishna becomes greedy to understand all these points. The love of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, his own sweetness, which is unable to relish as Krishna. So only if you take the form of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī can he relish it. And then to understand the nature of this love, so Lord Krishna, he comes as Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu. So Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu is Krishna himself, but with the external covering of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. So Caitanya Mahāprabhu is called Anta Kṛṣṇa Bahi Gora. Internally is Krishna, but externally is Gora, Rādhārāṇī. So that is Caitanya Mahāprabhu, and this is what we will. This is what been explained in this chapter, and then of course, then in chapter 8 of during the Ramananda Samvada, the Ramananda when Caitanya Mahāprabhu was discussing with Ramananda Roy. So there's a very, very wonderful explanation by Śrī Prabhupada in this Ramananda Samvada. So I'm going to stop there. There's a lot of points that can be discussed. It's very, very big topic, very, very lofty topic. And one has to really have a sufficient advancement in order to really explain or to understand or to release this topic. Sufficient advancement has to be there. Otherwise, it's not ordinary topic at all. It's not, the topic is not ordinary. So thank you very much. I hope you're able to understand some of my speeches. Hare Krishna. So is there any question or comment? Jai Prabhuji.
So we're very fortunate to have the understanding of Radharani, because even other sampradayas don't have it. And even in our own, usually it's Gaur Narayan that comes, not Chaitanya. He teaches the holy names, but they don't talk about Radha. But aren't there a few others? Don't Nimbarka also have Radha?
Who?
The Nimbarka sampradaya.
Yes, of course.
Anyone else has Radha?
Nimbarka Sampradaya, the Vishnu Swami. There are two other Sampradayas there who worship Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is their Ishta, worship of the deity.
So which ones were objecting?
Which one is?
When Baladev Vijayabhusan had to go.
Well, that's mainly Śrī Sampradaya.
The Śrī Sampradaya.
Yeah, Śrī Sampradaya. Because they worship Lakshmi Narayan.
Of course, if Narayan has Lakshmi, then Kṛṣṇa must also have his extension.
Yeah. And that's one of these conversations that Mahāprabhu was having with Vedanta Bhatta. Because Vedanta Bhatta was the Lakshmi Śrī Sampradaya. So, a very humorous argument between Mahāprabhu and Vedanta Bhatta, that Mahāprabhu is telling him that, look, Lakshmi Devi, she became attracted to, she wanted to take part in Rasa Lila, but she's unable. So she had to go perform austerity in Belwan, here in Vrindavan, so that she can take part in the Rasa Lila. But she was unable because she cannot give up the animal, the the mentality that she's goddess of fortune.
That's her Swarup, though.
No.
All with the lion. So.
Well, so Mahaprabhu was
Like
just having this.
Sita's not going to give up Ram to go to Kṛṣṇa because her relationship with Ram.
Yeah. In one sense, yeah. So, but Mahaprabhu, actually the counterpart is accepting Mahaprabhu's explanation, but he is saying actually Lakshmi and Radharani, they are the same, they are non-person. So therefore, it's Lakshmi Devi, they are the same. But of course, we know that the Lakshmi Devi is an expansion of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. But he mentioned that was the Sabakanti was that famous verse that the Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, she's the amalgamation of all the Lakshmi. Because there are so many Lakshmis, and she's the amalgamation of all the Lakshmi. So what is Saba Lakshmi, something like that. The verse in the Caitanya Mahāprabhu that explains that.
Maybe it's not totally conceivable for us.
Yeah, we'd be better to just chant Hare Krishna mantra, asking to the Prabhupada, and try to purify ourselves. So when we become purified, no more lust, greed, all these things, all the anarthas are gone away, then we can start having something. But until that time, it will be possible to. So therefore, Prabhupada said, stick to this process. When the Chaitanya Mahāprabhu first came in 1974, at that time, so devotees were reading some of these pastime of lila, and then they formed a group. I'm sure you know about that. They formed this Radhabhav group. Radhabhav group. They formed this group. I'm sure you're aware of that. Huh? So they formed this group whereby they say, oh, let's talk about Radhabhav. And the Prabhupada was very angry. That was, you have not even understood Kṛṣṇa Bhagavad Gita, and then you want to talk of Radhabhav. So therefore, Prabhupada was not happy that devotees want to prematurely get into Radhabhav. It's not something we can prematurely get into. We are reading this just to have a glimpse, but but it's not something that can be artificially done. Not artificially. So we have to know ourselves, free from all bad habits and alternativity, and do service that has been given to us by, Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and all that.
Some people think that they can't wait and they want to force themselves into Krishna Lila. So some people, they climb over the wall at the Seva Kunj at the Nityaman to see Krishna's pastimes. But the next day, when we ask them about it, they can never say anything intelligible.
No, of course they can't. It can't be done artificially.
Maybe they're not ready for it.
Yes, of course. It cannot be done artificially. We can't artificially imitate. We can't. Otherwise, we just become like a mad person. We become like mad.
What happens to them?
Yeah, become like a madman speaking nonsense. Speaking nonsense. And then, after this thing, so-called experience, and then we fall again into sense gratification. We fall again into illicit sex, drinking, all these things. It can't be done artificially. Okay. Another point. You wanted to say something? Okay, thank you very much for listening. Jai. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Gopi Manande.